Come on.
Terry Rose,
Yes.
Tammy Garner,
Yes.
Jana Dandridge, Nastasia Raffiano,
Present.
and Robert Thompson.
Here.
Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge. Honor Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. I know, I just realized that. I was like, I was gonna go there and do that. I was like, it's not good time to do that right now. Sorry.
If you're going to record, please go to the corner, please.
I shouldn't have to record from the corner.
If we allow one camera up here, we have to allow them all up here, which means we'd have tripods sitting in the.
Everyone in
He doesn't have a
this
tripod.
can pull out their phone
Tripod.
and record.
There's no tripod.
Everyone in this room can pull out their phone and record if they want to.
Please move to the corner.
No, ma'am. You cannot require me to move to the corner. Everybody in here can pull out their phone and record. This is a public forum.
Lucy, will you please say the prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this gathering. Take care of each and every one of us as we go through our days tonight and this evening. And just, Lord, whatever you think that we need to do to resolve all those issues that we got amongst the citizens of East Walkeny, please give it in our hearts to be able to mend whatever conflict is here. Lord, these folks, they need your help. I need your help. And if there's anything that we can do together, Lord, just push us in the right direction. And just anything that you think that we need to do, Lord, give it to us so that we can heal from all of this nonsense. Lord, I ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Discuss and take action, if necessary, on new business. Discuss and take action to adopt ordinance 592024 to adopt the department budget for 2024.
As you know, it's the same budget y'all had
Yes, it is.
before, but we did have to make adjustments because of the insurance.
Yes. I saw that.
The adjustments we made because of the insurance, I needed
If you wouldn't mind explaining why those adjustments were made or what the difference is. in
our
the
insurance rates, the health insurance rates for the city doubled this year.
Okay.
It's 6520 on like the third page, I think it is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4th page.
Did they say why it doubled?
Yes, sir, they did.
On my budget for the general admin, health insurance was $9,450. It jumped up to $10,336.68. I needed $886.68. I took $250 from my contract labor. I took $500 from the copier contract. So we got a new copier, so that expense did go down, and I took $250 out of my building repair and maintenance for $1,000.
So you explained where the money is coming from, but what was the reason for the big jump between the original to why it's like, did you say
Claims that have
10,000?
been made through the year.
So claims in terms of
Health claims, so.
the health claims of the employees? That happened in the last year, is that what it was? So that affects our
Yes.
overall budget.
Adela's insurance for court
the 10,000?
The 9,000 was the original that I had in the budget the first time that y'all looked at it. The 10,000 is what it jumped up
That's for
to.
2003. This is budget 2003. And then proposed is 10,000.
What she's saying is it did not double.
No, mine alone did not. The combined for the entire 12 employees or 11 employees doubled. In Adela's budget, she was scheduled 8,321.25. It's now 10,036, 336.68. She needed a little over 2,015.43. I took 500 from her computer repair, computer software and equipment. I took 300 from her small equipment purchases. I took 100 out of her training, 500 out of computer repair and maintenance. Still wasn't quite enough, but we ended up with enough with the fund balance that we had left in general.
So when you're saying you took these out, was this for this specific employee or is this for
No, that's for that
the-
specific department,
as in, like?
court.
Okay. And is it because something happened, that's why it jumped up so much?
That's
For
what
that-
her portion of the
No.
insurance went up versus what I had budgeted in the original budget.
Is there something that occurred that made it jump up, I guess is my
The,
question.
the entire city as a whole, all employees
Okay.
went up.
Okay.
Okay, in public safety. They were scheduled, 30,000 in health insurance. It went up to 31,1004. They needed a little over $1,010.04. We took 500 from contract labor and we took 500 from training. I'm sorry, no. Small equipment purchase. And with the fund balance, that covered the rest of it.
Does that still leave funds for those, like, departments that you took from, that where if it was
It
necessary?
took pretty much all of the court's money,
Okay,
but she also has money that comes in that can specifically only be used by court for a tech fund and things like that, which would cover any of her expenses for like computer repair, anything like that.
okay, so I guess my question is, if a computer repair came, then would we be pulling that from another funds?
We would be
Or-
pulling
and
it from.
Is there funds available?
Yes, she has a municipal court tech fund that can only be used by municipal court and we can pull it from there.
Okay.
And that covers general, and if you look at the very end of the combined general, which is the first. On that very last page where it gives totals. General revenue went still at 610,596.84. The expenses were 610,4492. They went up to 610,557.07. Which still leaves us as a balanced budget.
We're just having a hard time finding,
So that's
locating
the
that.
total budget
page.
you're looking at there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Fourth page.
Which one?
Fourth page.
Fourth? Is that the revenue page? Cause I don't know if the pages are the same.
There's the combined, so that shows all the expenses for the three different groups and the revenues for the three different departments. And then the totals down here.
Okay.
Oh, for the changes.
I'm good with those three changes in those three departments if we're ready to move on to
Yeah.
water.
Is everybody ready to move on from general to water? It explains it a little better.
What are we missing?
There's an extra explanation of the sewer increase that Tammy has.
Yes, I thought I put it in their packets, and I did
Okay.
not. Okay, with that sheet that I just give you, it kind of explains it a little better on the previous budgets that we were working with. I had forgotten to add in the extra income from the water rate increase that took place on July the 1st. The previous water sales was 675,000. The projected increase for the water sales for the new water rates, 27,393.38, brings us up to 702,393.38. Their increase in health insurance was 11,683.40 for all 5 employees. New total water department expenses is 1,113,993.53. The new revenue is 1,113,143.48. Leaves them in a budget deficit of 850. I spoke with y'all at budget meetings about a sewer increase. It hasn't been increased since at least 18, I believe it's 16, but I don't have that right in front of me. If we did the increase, it'd be an additional $6,360, which would bring them up to 1,119,503.38.
That's your dollar they are proposing? Increase?
Mhm.
Do you see citizens' comments?
Total new revenue
Do you see it? Okay.
with the increase is 1,118,653.38, which would cover their 1,113,993 total expenses and would leave a budget surplus of 4,659.85.
But just to be clear, that's proposed and we'll vote on that at some
Right,
future
right.
meeting.
Yes, probably our next meeting, I'll go ahead and throw that on there.
Okay.
And then I did give y'all the sheet of the proposed increases.
Good catch. She's good, she's good. She can. It's good.
She did. She did.
At this point, without the sewer increase, we're at a budget deficit of $850 for the water and sewer.
So looking at these, I'm not sure, are we trying to go by like department?
Yes.
It's not, okay, to,
Yes,
because
the
I got
water
a little
and,
bit,
water and sewer
distracted
is
on-
a total separate budget, and that's why it's handled separately.
okay, okay.
I understand where we're going, but based on the water situations that we've had over the years, increasing another dollar is gonna be questionable by our constituents and the people that we support.
One of,
I totally understand. However, many people have issues with the water anyway, so to increase another dollar, it's minimal, but
And garbage is going up.
one of the questions I had in regards to water is when it comes to the flushing of the water system. So I know we do flush thousands of gallons a month, and I'm sure there's a good reason for it. I'm not really sure what that reason is exactly. But I was just wondering, one of the questions that I posed previously is the impact that that has on us as citizens that are paying for the water. Is that something we're responsible for? Or is that just something that's incorporated with the doing business between the city and water department and the implications that it has in terms of that? Especially, there was one point where we had, I know like, I think it was 1 million gallons.
Probably 1 million gallons, Laura.
That were, and so I, like, are we paying for that, or is that the city, or is it just an understandable agreement that there's gonna be those losses, and those are just losses between, you know?
Customers
the
are
water-
only charged for what goes through their meter,
Okay.
but the city still pays for
Pays
all of it. Yeah.
Doesn't cover it, has to.
And so these flushings, and I don't know what's required for what, but it does seem extensive when it gets into especially 1 million gallons.
Well, there's a
That was-
difference in water loss and flushing.
Exactly, but both are,
So the reason that we had
Costly.
the $1,000
They're
or
costly.
1,000 gallons was because the tower flowed. Basically, they said that, I think we were hit by lightning at that point in time, and it
Okay.
shut down the tower, and that's what happened on that. So that's a rare occasion that that happens.
Mhm.
But I believe that time that you're talking about, that's what happened, but we could ask Jeff that in the next
Yeah,
meeting.
because I do believe that at one meeting it was 800,000, in another meeting it was
It
1
is.
million
Yes.
gallons.
it was.
So like that, I mean, 800,000 1 month, 1 million, then that's a lot, that's a lot of water
Yeah.
that's going
Yeah.
through, so. I was just curious of,
Yeah, because we had two tower, the one on one side had an issue, and then the one on the other side had an issue too, so we had like double whammy 2 different times.
okay.
Any of y'all got any other questions on the budget before I make a motion to approve it?
I just, so for going through the whole budget, I wasn't here as that specific meeting, but, I know I mentioned this before, but I just wanted to bring it up again. When it comes to, the specifics of miscellaneous expenses, if there is any way that, I know Tammy, you said that, you know, putting that into the system only lets you do certain things, but when we have miscellaneous expenses that are close to $300,000, if there's a way that we can like get specifics on that, and I mean, yeah, just the dollar amounts in that specific. This,
And then the water department still, or?
that's why I wasn't sure if we were looking over it when you said the budget in general. So that's why these expenses right here, miscellaneous expenses. Combined general. So did you want just for the water, or, that's why I was
Well,
trying to
when-
decipher.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we approve the budget, we approve everything all at once.
Okay.
We don't
Yeah, that's
approve
why-
individually.
Okay, that's why I was just trying to, yeah, so identify these certain things. So miscellaneous expenses, I mean, just looking through it, I mean, you know, I would say approve, but I personally would just like to see more detail when it comes to miscellaneous expenses when we're getting into close to the $300,000 mark. I feel like specifics to
Is
that.
that under water department? Just wondering.
Yeah, where is that at?
This is under,
Under
it
general.
says combined general.
The line 5,800, is
So
that the one you're-
5,800 is the specific.
So the miscellaneous expense she's talking about happened this year. There's no budget, there wasn't any budget for it last year, there's no budget for it this year.
Okay.
So I
So
don't
I-
know.
I mean, it's coming out of money from somewhere, I guess is my
Right, I agree.
reason
I just-
for bringing it up, and just because I did mention it previously and I still see it, and when I'm looking at it, I want to approve it, but when you see 300,000 and you don't know what the expenses are for,
So again, those are actuals for this year,
okay,
so that shouldn't affect our approval of the budget for next year.
I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, I don't disagree that we ought to figure out what that was. I've
It's
asked stuff like that in the past.
It's that CLRF funds that was done for, COVID. And it's where I've moved the money around. I move it through miscellaneous income. It's coming from the grant fund into general and it pays expenses. It's coming in as miscellaneous income.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's just, I mean, looking through it and I see something, so I just wanted to address it, that's all.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll make the motion, we approve the 2024 budget.
Without COVID, where you get the next 300,000?
Yeah.
You don't.
And where's the money gonna come from to pay that 300,000 miscellaneous fee?
What it is when we got all of our COVID money and it was set into a bank account for CLRF separately. Okay, when we spent 58,000 on the truck, I have to move it from this account and into general because we don't write checks out of it, we have no checks for this account. Move it into general and then a check is written from general or water, wherever we moved it for the truck.
I thought the truck was 30-something thousand to our part.
was a grant.
No, it was 53.
I thought it was a grant.
And that's what this is moving
Oh,
money
okay, this
from
is
the
the
grant
grant?
fund into
Okay,
that,
this is
so
the
we can
grant.
pay for the truck.
Okay.
I kept it in a totally separate account because we have to have receipts and keep up with everything for this grant and turn it in, so I kept it in a separate account all by itself, so it would make.
So that 300,000 won't be needed this next year, basically?
No. No,
And
that's
it's
why there's
not-
nothing in the
And
budget
it's not
for it.
budgeted.
So as far as the gas, oil, and diesel, so budgeted for 2022 was 13,000, but yet it looks like we spent 21,000. So I see that we're adopting a budget for 22,000. I'm just kind of curious to why, I mean, the discrepancy between 13,000 and 21,000 is pretty significant. Is there, we just, I guess, got more vehicles, or, I mean, that's like pretty extensive between 13,000 and 21,000.
More, I mean,
It's almost
all we
double,
can do
but-
is guess at what we're going to need.
Yeah,
And last year, we believed that for that line item, that we were going to need 13,000.
Well,
And then, of course, like
so it
they're all
said-
saying, gas went up.
yeah, so it says actual through 6/30 of 23 was only 5,000 under 400. So under 5,400 for the half of this year.
Right.
Can I
Yeah.
answer it?
Sure.
It's because I was out half of the year better. And then the guy that I hired, Walt Kimball, was out for like 10 weeks or something like that. Jeff only works every other weekend. The only one working was John, nearly. And that's why we didn't use that much. 13,000 is not going to make it, I promise you.
Okay, so we only had a portion of the staff on. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for information.
Okay, so Rob had, do we have a second?
I thought we had a second.
I thought we did.
I thought I heard somebody down there.
No.
Just Rob has made the motion.
I'll second it.
Terry Rose,
Yes.
Kimmy Garner,
Yes.
Nastasia Rafiano,
Yes.
Rob Thompson.
Discuss and take action to approve or deny adopting an ordinance levy on tax rates for the city of East Tawakoni for tax year 2023.
I got a question back there. Can you tell me why we do not have department reports and citizen comments?
This is not a regular meeting, this is actually a special meeting. And again, as I said, discuss or take action on levy, because you may have any questions regarding that.
We haven't had a regular meeting, so this probably is a regular meeting.
Comments from.
We had a regular meeting.
When?
No, we didn't.
Our regular meeting is the third Tuesday of the month.
We did not have a regular meeting. We had two
We
special
had it the
meetings.
14th.
That's
No, we
not
didn't have a regular
meeting.
meeting. That was a
Because the lack of, we
special
did not
meeting.
have lack of quorum is
That was a
why.
special
It
meeting.
was a special meeting.
It was a regular, the alert that went out to y'all was that actually
It's a
was a
special
regular
meeting.
So you're
meeting.
denying the public to comment in this public forum.
I'm having a conversation right now.
You're denying the request that we spoke to, put in.
Why did you let us fill out the forms if you're not gonna let us talk?
We don't have it.
I'm going through the agenda. I was gonna allow y'all to speak after we went through the agenda.
Well, you can
That's
say
what
that.
he's
Thank
You
you.
were gonna, if you would've said that right up front, there wouldn't be an issue.
Right.
Well, I'm going through the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not on the agenda.
Did anybody have any questions on the 2023 tax rate calculation sheet?
So I was looking over it, and I'm not a CPA, so it said no increase, so is that true?
Our tax rate last year was .4099.
We've gone down.
Okay,
However, to explain this to another council member, to explain,
yeah.
because yes, I am a numbers person,
Mhm.
and yes, our tax rate went down because our value
Went
of
up,
the city went up.
right,
And that will continue to do so as long as we use the no tax increase. And that's how it will work until we decide to change, if we change, to increase our tax.
yeah, that was my
So we went
understanding, I
down.
wanted to
Yes.
confirm that, thank you.
I make a motion to accept the levy.
Second that.
Terry Rose. Kami Garner.
Yes.
Nastasia Raffiano.
Yes.
Robert Thompson.
Yes.
To discuss and take action to approve or deny the combining property ID 9839 and property ID 9842 at 221 Briggs.
Are those owners present at this time?
In front of you.
Okay.
And I make the motion to approve the combination.
Yeah, I was just curious, so you were both previous owners of both lots? Or
Yes.
did you acquire? Okay.
Yes.
It's front yard and the backyard.
Yes, it is. It's basically from one road to the other and it's still your yard.
Yep.
All right, sounds good,
Yes.
thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Or you do
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I didn't hear
You gotta
that.
speak up over there.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, so let's change that to Terry.
Okay, now to the good thing first.
Terry Rose.
Yes, ma'am.
Kami Garner.
Yes.
Nastasia Raffiano.
Yes.
Robert Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, discuss and take action to approve or deny a 30 by 40 garage at 221 Briggs.
And I make the motion, and I make the motion to, accept the 30 by 40.
I second that, I just wanted to confirm it's one story or is it 2 stories?
Just
It's
one.
one story.
Yeah,
Yes.
I second
We
that.
need a place to park a golf cart.
I think
But we
I'll
want to
turkey
acquire
that.
someday.
Yeah.
Well, and a lawnmower, you know.
It's all the extra stuff.
Terry Rose.
Yes.
Kami Garner.
Yes.
Nastasia Raffiano.
Yes.
And Robert Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry, can you tell me who made that motion and seconded it?
Kami made it and Nastasia seconded.
Yep.
Okay, discuss and take action, if necessary, Chief South's light duty status. This was put out for executive session. Chief South is asked to have it actually on open session. I had requests by council members, this did not come from me. As the mayor, I did have requests by 2 council members just to kind of understand your status, your health and everything like that, to make sure that you are on the right duty status and stuff like that on this. So I will let the council members that had the questions ask those.
I brought you a letter. I'm just on light duty. I got about 3 more weeks, doing physical therapy, and then I'll be back.
Can you explain to us what light duty means, what restrictions? what
It's
you can and
everything
can't
I normally do, but take calls and go out there and work traffic.
Mainly desk duties.
Hmm?
Mainly desk duties.
Yes,
At this time.
and I ride around a
Yes.
lot and
Yes.
do?
been checking stuff out that ain't looking good. But anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah, that's another meeting.
So that's the concern that's been expressed to me by citizens is if you're supposed to be on desk duty and you're out in your patrol car and something happens in front of you, and I just happened to see on Facebook last week where somebody posted that they don't know any first responders that give less than 100%. So I find it hard to believe that if you saw something happening in front of you that needed attention, that you just sit back and watch it happen.
No, I wouldn't do that. Everybody that knows me knows I wouldn't do that.
Right, and so my concern is that you're supposed to be on light duty, so if you're out,
I'm not gonna do nothing until I'm released.
There's more citizen support in him than there are questioning such things as that. I guarantee you that.
So I'm concerned.
I know who that is.
For
I know who
his,
that story was from.
so I'm concerned for his health. If he's out sitting in his car somewhere or driving around and something happens and he goes out and does something that he's not supposed to be released to do yet, and he hurts himself.
He's not chasing criminals.
So
He said
it's,
it's live duty.
So
so
he
it,
just said
it
that,
sounds like light duty is
Most
that
of
we're
the
gonna
time,
specify
Robert, where
what
am I
that
at
is.
when you see me?
sitting up on 276.
Sitting up there on the city property, watching stuff that goes on, and I'm trying to figure out now who's trying to tear the roof off of TJ's where the gas pumps are. and I'm trying to find out who's doing that. I'm not gonna chase nobody, I'm not gonna pull nobody over if I see anything. I see anything bad, I got a radio, I'll call Rains County and have them follow up and take care of it. I'm not stupid.
I didn't say you were, but
And
again,
I'm not going to risk my health for that. Now, in 3 more weeks, I should be released.
I understand, and I hope you are. So, but again, the concern is that if you're sitting up there and there's a car accident or whatever it is, it would be reasonable expectation for the public to assume that a police officer sitting in a police cruiser will
I
be able to
might go down
respond.
there and turn the lights on and not get out and call Rains County just to stop the traffic.
This is
But-
one person, you're talking for one person. That's not all the citizens. We don't all feel that
I
way.
didn't say it was all the
Well, if that,
citizens.
that story is on Facebook right now, and we know who told the story, and we know that person has been defending the mayor.
So, I'm
He's
sorry.
expressing his
I
side,
didn't
and
see it
so
on
that's
Facebook,
fine.
so it didn't come from
It
Facebook.
it is on Facebook.
So,
And if you believe everything you see on Facebook, I got some oceanfront property behind my house, I'll say.
And again, like I said, this isn't coming from Facebook, this is coming from people concerned over you being on light duty and still being out in your cruiser in the city where, you know, and
Who?
again, huh?
Do you know how those people came to find he was on light duty?
I do not.
I know who, Rick.
So I think it's okay for him to express, you know, if people have concerns, but, as far as the chief, I mean, I feel like him sitting in the car, even having a presence is important, and he doesn't have to stand out and do
Exactly.
that. He can still do his duty and do his job on light duty, calling backup. I mean, having eyes and being able to spot crime is important, and that falls into light duty. I feel like he's doing his job.
I mean, I've been
Exactly.
I
doing
appreciate
26
you expressing your concern, but
I understand.
I feel
And-
like, I don't feel like there's an issue with him sitting in his car and fulfilling his duty that way.
Like, the concern is, you know, with your training and your experience and stuff, if you see something happen, that you're just going to react and go do something.
I'm
And,
not stupid.
well, I didn't say you were.
So was it one councilman asking questions or multiple?
Yeah, I
Because it
don't think
indicated there were
he's
two
strict about
councilmen
this.
asking that question.
There were, yes.
Who's the other councilman asking the question?
The one that's not here.
Well, that's not here. That's great.
And it's like I said, my door's always open if anybody's got questions to me. I'll be glad to answer them.
And if it eases the council's mind, I do also live here in this city, so if it's, and I already told dispatch the same thing, if it was a dire emergency, even if I wasn't on duty, I'm normally always here in the city anyway, that they could still call me, and they have when I was off duty and I still went on calls. So if it's something that directly needs to be addressed, he can call me, or dispatch was already told he could call me to handle anything that needed to be dealt with.
So does it put the city at liability if he's sitting up there and cannot react to something that happens?
Because he's on light duty, so.
Yeah, because, I mean, if he can't, if something happens, I mean, I could be wrong, y'all answer this, so if you're sitting there watching, I'm just saying, a wreck or something like that that happens up there, and you don't respond, what does that do to the city? I'm
He
asking.
I think I just said I would pull down there and stop
He's
the
not- he's
traffic and
responding,
call.
he's-
I can call right across the bridge and have people here within 3 minutes.
Yes.
I'm asking a question.
But I can be sitting in my office and we'll let them sit out there and die. Let's look at it 2 ways.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
asking you what would happen, that's just me asking a question, because Rob's trying to ask the same question, so that's fine.
And part of our job is to protect the city, and you being
So
part
it's
of the
mine
city.
too, sir,
I understand, but, you know,
and I'm not done.
Thank you.
But what kind of liability would it be for the city if he was sitting out there and saw something?
I don't know that it is, I'm just
It's
asking the
not.
question, is it? Because, I mean, if there's a police officer in uniform in his cruiser and something happens
But
in front
by
of him,
state law, if I don't do something, guess what? I'm at fault.
But would they not come back?
All I would do
No, because
is
he's
cover
They go after the.
and have
That's what I'm
the
asking.
help there, quick.
And actually, the Supreme Court already ruled that an officer actually does not have duty to respond or protect.
And I'm only
That's
there
why
by
NYPD
myself 3
took that
hours.
off their vehicle, because it went before the Supreme Court, and they took the liability off officers, depending on certain cases, that they're not liable.
And Robert, I'm only here 3 hours by myself in the mornings.
I understand,
That's it.
and like I
That's why I
said,
bring them guys in.
it's just our job to make sure that the city isn't put in a situation where they be liable, and if,
I'm not out there all the time.
I understand. All it takes is being out there
I
at the
was
wrong
in the
time.
office all day working, putting cases together to take to the DA tomorrow.
You can play what if all day long, but what if he was at home and somebody shot him?
Yeah.
I mean, this a what if game, don't pay.
Does anybody else have any other questions for him at all?
I make a motion that there's no action taken whatsoever.
I say no.
Amen.
Amen.
Did you second that motion? Yes, I
Are
did.
you original?
Terry Rose,
Yes.
Tammy Horner,
Yes.
Jana Danzig,
Hot dogs.
Nastasia Raffiano, and Robert Thompson.
Yes, and thank you, Chief, for coming in and answering our questions, appreciate it very much.
All right, like I said, we did not have comments on this one because this is a special meeting, but I'm.
Are we gonna have comments?
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Like I said, again, we weren't gonna have comments because this is a special meeting, we were just gonna do budgets and handle Rick's issue.
I got a question before you finish. You said that this was set up to handle his issue. Okay, back during the budget, after one of the meetings, you told me that this was set up to take care of Jeff.
We were
Because
gonna,
at this time, Chief was not even mentioned, nor on light duty. So what happened with hearing Jeff, and how long are we gonna drag it out?
so hopefully I can do it next month. I was advised by our attorney, the city attorney, not to discuss this, the Jeff situation.
So the council's not allowed to know anything.
Ah.
When we have executive
So the
session
council
for this,
that takes care of
we
this
have
city is not
executive
allowed to know
session, so we
anything.
can.
But yet you told me we were gonna have a meeting on this. You told me that the reason we couldn't have the meeting was because there wasn't 5 members gonna be there.
And that's what the attorney told me too, and then he advised me to wait because there are investigations going on right now. That's all I can say.
So can we have executive session regarding this matter? Because that, like,
We could, yes, we could discuss that.
because,
If I
yeah,
can
I
get it.
was under the same,
So if I can get permission from the attorneys
Okay.
and the other departments that are handling the issues, then I will ask. Okay?
Do you have it in
I think we ought to do away with it.
Okay. Betty, do you want to speak now?
Don't start timing until I speak. 2 special meetings and no regular meeting in the same month, you have to know that don't look good. The last time I spoke, it was from passion and I was angry and nervous because I was being timed. And I came in here and I saw unfilled seats with reserved signs. And the city secretary tried to escort the cameraman to assign seats. We don't need assigned seats and we don't need to be controlled. The effort spent on that could have been spent proofreading notices for these meetings. I had just told a neighbor that I believe there is good in the mayor and the people around her, but that good is not being used to govern the city. I don't want to be here, but there needs to be accountability. I gave the mayor a little credit. I said she was confused about how much time citizens had to speak, but she couldn't take responsibility for her mistake. My page said 3 minutes. Where are the pages that said different than that? We tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. When I spoke to you in July, I told you that the most important thing to me is that everything that the council does follows state law. I guess you thought that sounded like a good platform, but you can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And you had already signed a contract that was not approved by the council. Since you were deceptive about capacity, it leads me to question everything you say. You say that other mayors had signed contracts. Are you saying that the original contract is the same as the other mayors had signed? Please clarify how this contract was similar. Are renewals and purchases the same as an original contract? And did the city secretary advise you could sign the contract as she advised the previous mayor that he could purchase the truck? You said things had changed. What changed? Did the code limiting your power change? I don't believe you have the right to make that kind of decision for the city. I say the mayor came in here making power moves with power that she does not have, and she was deceptive about capacity. I do not trust her, and if it were her word against anyone else's, I would believe anyone else. And to the council, this is not a good time to make any changes without the citizens' input, and I fear for the city's liability. And I need to add that I asked the mayor to answer to the capacity deception directly on Facebook. And she messaged me and wanted to speak to me in person at City Hall. I said, not without a witness, and she offered Rob as a witness. I replied I would need my own witness as well. It's not just me that you need to answer to, but what was it you wanted to say to me, Ms. Calhoun?
Thank you, Betty. David?
First of all, I'd like to commend the city secretary. This is the first time in 5 months that we've had a legal meeting. Congratulations, you got one right. Second of all, the mayor, in the mayor's comments, brought up the illegal contract yet again. And since I don't have the minutes, let me just go straight to Rain. Is the Rain County leader here?
No, he's not here tonight.
Yeah, they're not here. So let me just tell you what the Rains County leader said. Calhoun explained that the contract she signed for a company to handle code enforcement for the city was temporary and at zero cost to the city. The contract was voided when it was voted down by the council. Isn't that what you said? Okay. I don't know what Rains County leader's problem is, but they want to use hearsay in the paper that the mayor, if the mayor's talking about a contract, it's hearsay. And I have tried several times to give this contract to Rains County leader so they could print the truth. Because every time the mayor says that that contract was temporary, it's a lie. And I'm going to read you the actual last page of the contract that says fees. City and contractor hereby agree that city shall pay contractor within 30 days of the date of this agreement the sum of $15,000 and 0 cents for services to be performed under this agreement per year, and such amount shall not be refundable to the city in the event the city elects to terminate this agreement. Is there anybody here that doesn't understand that language right there? That this is not a temporary contract. And would you please stop saying it's a temporary contract? Councilman, you have been lied to in open meetings several times. The other blatant lie is on video with the mayor making up a fairy tale about being contacted by the Rains County Emergency Management and he had concerns about the video, okay? We have posted proof from Rains County's Facebook chat that that's all BS. He did not contact Rains County. Rains County did not contact us.
Come out here.
You contacted Rains County. Rains County told you specifically he could make recommendations, but that they did not have the authority to set capacity. The sign that was put up on that door actually spelled capacity, but anyway, it was put up on the door is fraud. And the mayor restricted access to
Thank you, David.
Go ahead.
Dolores? Grace?
Hi, Dolores. I've never gotten involved in city politics, and I'm fairly new here to the neighborhood. But I'm absolutely appalled with the way things have been going. But I'll get to that in a minute. What I mainly wanted to suggest to the city council, is there any way that we could have put on the agenda somehow? Is there grants available to put up an emergency warning system? Sirens or something for tornadoes, I mean, because the storms that roll through here, it's kind of scary. It gets really scary. And for those that don't have access to the notification from the National Weather Service, unless, you know, you're stuck, I mean, you're not gonna hear it. And so I'd like to see if there's any kind of funding available through the government that would help us get something for our city and for our citizens, because safety is living first. The other thing is that what is going on in this neighborhood, or what has been going on, is really appalling. I've watched, you know, Dallas City Council meetings for years, and I'd like to see some kind of more willingness toward the citizens in speaking to them and how we would address them, treat them with respect. We will treat them with respect as well, and to respond. And Natasha, I want to commend you to that for speaking up, and the city council members that do speak up in these meetings. This is the first time that I've been watching the meetings since you took office, and to speak up and actually address some of these issues. It was very specific. It was, that is what we need to see. These are the kind of questions we want answers to, and we do encourage you to continue to speak up and speak on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. Jesse.
I have a letter
Give me that camera.
called Mayor Shortcomings, Oversights, and Illegal Actions Debriefing that I submitted to state authorities. I'll go over the points. I'll submit the cover page to the city council. Unethical defamation of public officials and setting free mayoral intention of terminating city staff without sufficient cause. Talking about firing police and other staff before she was even mayor, to multiple people. Illegal authorization of a contract between the city and another agency without any type of notification or approval from city council. Illegal deletion of a social media page used by the mayor, which was titled as representing the office of the mayor of city of East Tawakoni after a Freedom of Information Act request was submitted. The mayor's intent to defraud the citizens of East Tawakoni by posting an unofficial proclamation and falsely using a county agency's authority without their knowledge. She absolutely lied. Illegal meeting conducted by the mayor and part of the city council. Last meeting, everything does need to get tossed out. I even asked a judge that said that last meeting is illegal, and nothing y'all voted on last meeting is acceptable. It's illegal because the notice was had 3 different dates on there. Illegal intimidation of uncontested city council member Nastasia Rufino by the mayor. After the last mayor, she pulled Nastasia aside, threatened to pass on legal costs to her for reaching out to the city attorney that's there for the city to contact whenever this illegal stuff is going on. Defamation of character comments to the public regarding prior and current city officials. I called the state officials to action, and I requested, and I distributed this to multiple state agencies to bring this mayor to terms, because these things are illegal. They should not be done. Last meeting, everything that was voted on should be tossed out, and I even got that from a judge.
Julie.
I'll pass my 3 minutes on to David.
Okay, so I get it finished now. Councilmen, we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that the mayor has lied to you in open session. I mean, for crying out loud, she just made up a story and told it. And just off the record, I'll give $100 right now to find out which one of those two made up that little plan. You've been lied to on several occasions. So when a council person stands up and says, this is an illegal meeting and it's not just last month or the last 2 weeks ago, it's every meeting for the last 5 months. They all said April. They all said April. The incompetence of this administration is astounding. You just witnessed a missing page. These are legal documents and they need to be handled with care. Okay? And as far as the council goes, when this council person stood up and said the meeting is illegal, does anybody remember what the mayor said? She said, oh, we talked to TML and they said it's fine. Do you believe that? Because I don't know about you, but when somebody lies to my face, I never trust them again. Do you believe that last week's council people, do you believe that meeting was legal or illegal? I know what you think. What do you think? Legal or illegal? Not going to answer, are you?
That's all right, not.
Yeah. This is the most horrible administration that we've ever had in my 20 years. I'm sick of the lies, and I want her to be held accountable. And I want the city secretary to be held accountable for incompetence. Thank you.
Thank y'all for those comments. Very good, Tammy. That's it, I guess we're done. Let's adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Rose?
Yep.
Tammy Garner?
Yes.
Nastasia Raffiano?
Yes.
Robert Thompson?
Yes.
Done? Any other citizens that would like to sign this letter, I will give you a copy of it and I will mail it off to the proper authorities for you. If you're a registered voter, all you have to do is sign this and we'll take care of it for you.